Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Frozen Frontier. You have 20 men who have volunteered to go fight off this presumed orcish threat that none of them have seen yet. And you're all hanging out at the tavern. You're all having a good time. Everyone is telling tales of bravado and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. I tell the story of how we were attacked on the bridge by the orcs, and how I dove off my horse and rolled behind them.
Rolled behind them, cut them
Killed
down.
The orcs.
Yeah. Great. Okay, well, the next day you set off northward with your eager men. Your eager peasant mob to go slay these damn orcs.
Yeah, so we want to make relatively quick time to get to the bridge to meet Roderick. So I will walk, but I make note to see my daggers still in the tree as we walk past it.
Sure, that's going to be down by the river, so it's actually going to be off-road at some point. You'd have to ride alongside the river the whole way to actually find that.
Okay, I won't then.
Yeah. You get back to the meeting point.
Yeah.
With Roderick. He has nobody with him, just him, and there's the 20 men plus you. Roderick kind of looks around, sees the 20, sees you.
I tell him to stop, and I ride forward to speak to him. And I say, Cal Roderick, I have gathered men from my father's domain.
Good.
But I must say, as I was marching back down towards the village, I saw a band of about 20 orcs walking along the road. I tried to organize a defense, but they never marched into the town. But I think I know where they crossed the river.
Show me.
All right. So I run back round to the back of the group of men, and me and Roderick march back down the road the other way.
All right. You head back down the other way. You can swing by the river and find that same spot. The tracks are gone because the river's banks swelled during the night slightly.
Sure.
Actually, you know what? The river banks don't swell during the night. You know what? The tracks are probably still there somewhat. You can see them, and there's your dagger stuck in the tree.
Okay, so I lead the men across the river. I pull my dagger out of the tree and say, it looks like they crossed from the Frostlands to the road from here.
He nods, looking at this. Hops off his horse and begins digging around in the sand and looking around all over the place while the other people just watch.
Is Roderick, has he ever done a track, does he come across as a tracker? It's not a typical fighter skill, is it?
It's not a typical fighter skill. Roderick you've never seen him personally track anything before, but he's trying now.
So I'll address the group of men and say, do any of you track animals?
Silence.
Never mind. I turn back and watch what Roderick's doing then.
He eventually comes back to the group and says, well, looks like there are two groups. One came from the north, came from the south.
I wait for him to decide what to do.
He looks at the 20 folks that you have gathered, remembers what you were saying earlier, says, this might be a little unorthodox, but William, it's time that you have learned a little something of leadership. Why don't you take half and head north? I'll take half and head south, and we'll see what we can do. You get into trouble, Better to fall back than to push your luck. He looks at your horse. Sees it's like still wounded. Looks back at you. And be careful. Don't fall into any more traps.
I don't want to question his orders. I worry about splitting up, but I won't question it. And I say, of course. Shall we meet back here tomorrow?
In a couple hours. Let's not be gone too long. Doesn't look like we have enough provisions to stay out tonight anyway, so we should probably make it back to Solwick or somewhere by nightfall.
Okay, so I will ride back to the group of men and call out the names of 10 of them. Mm-hmm. And I try and split it evenly so that, you know, we both get some young, stronger people and we both get some older, more experienced people.
Okay. Give me a charisma check. See if you can remember 10 people's names after you've been gone for years campaigning around the world.
Well, yeah, but I just spent the night exchanging stories with them in the tavern. You
did.
Definitely. So that should help.
Probably.
23.
There you go. Not a problem.
Hey, charisma check's on the ball tonight.
Okay. All right. So you get 10 people and you head north with them.
Okay, yeah, so I lead the way. I walk, they're all obviously on foot, so I just lead the column slowly. And every now and again I'll ride forward like a little bit and try and scout out the area. If there's like a hill or something, I'll ride up to the top of it.
Right, keep an eye out.
Scout it out and then come back down and lead the men around it. So I think I'll look for signs of orc settlement. If I find it, I probably won't attack it, because if we're looking to meet back up with Roderick in 2 hours, I think the goal is maybe to spot where they might be, observe them for a bit, and then come back.
Sure. Let's take a look here. Ooh, give me an opposed perception check. I don't think you're gonna have a hard time with this one though.
Don't know about that.
But you only have 7 perception, right? So let's just continue making these perception checks until you guys are close enough. We'll do these at... Oh, actually, hold on. Why don't we just do it... I got a better way of doing this, so we don't have to make a bunch of checks.
Okay.
A 13, and you got a 7, so you beat him by 4. So you'll spot him before he spots you, but we'll close the spot distance from 100 yards down to like... 50 yards or something like that. So around 50 yards or so, as you have followed north alongside the inside of the river, there's a kind of a hill that you're heading towards to try and get a look around. And as you're coming up alongside of the hill, you notice that, oh my god, there's a cave at the base of the hill that was hidden behind those trees, and there's an orc.
Okay.
Standing outside the cave, maybe 30 feet away, like just pissing on the ground. It's like as if he's walked out of the cave and take a pee break.
All right, so I try and back up without being seen.
You are on a horse, which makes a little noise. The orc does end up kind of looking up as you're turning your horse around, and just as you get in position to start turning away, the orc spots you, and the two of you like have eye contact from 50 yards away, and he looks kind of dumbfounded, like, what the fuck is that over there?
All right, so I will
a human?
I make ready to turn and run,
a horse?
But I will throw a javelin at this guy before turning.
I think you've got surprise on him, because he's really not expecting a person here right now. So go ahead and give me your javelin throw.
So +2 for surprise, right? Mm-hmm. Am I flanking him?
Yeah. Or the equivalent of flanking for him, like, you know, urinating.
23, yes! Yeah, we got
it. Orc is wearing some hide armor, so he's got AC 13. So yeah, that clears by 10, so 3 times damage dice for your javelin.
All right. Come on. 9.
Yeah. Your javelin just embeds itself in the orc's chest. That's more HP than he can possibly have. And he topples back in one fell motion, landing flat on the ground.
Okay. So, if I wanted to observe this cave, where would be the best place to do it?
Like,
without being seen, by people coming out the front. Like, you said it's at the base of a hill, so if I was at the top of the hill, would I be able to see them?
Maybe. Like, if you're at the top of the hill, you probably wouldn't be able to see them right when they walk out, but if they walk, like, 30 feet out of the cave, you'd be able to do it. If you want to see them just, like, around the entrance, you're going to need to be most of the way down the hill, because it's, like a wobbly hill, so your line of sight won't always match up with the base.
Yeah, how far away is the one I just killed from the entrance?
30 feet? 40 feet?
Is he in view of the entrance?
So the urine wouldn't be smelled from the cave entrance?
Sure.
No,
is he in? He's not in sight.
No, he's not inside of the entrance.
Okay, so I want to... How loud's my horse? Pretty loud.
Yeah, because if it's just being chill, then it's not that loud, but at any given moment, the horse might or fart loudly or, make a weird horse noise or stomp its feet or something.
Okay, so I want to try and... this is a bit risky. The guy's less than 50 feet away from me, right,
yep.
that I just killed. So feasibly in one round, I could go and grab him and drag the body into some bushes or something.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So I want to go and do that. I'll drag the body somewhere, pull my javelin out, and then run back to my horse and make my way back to the men.
Okay. They're marching up alongside the river.
Wait. Halt. I found the orcs' encampment. I've killed one, but I need to have an idea of their numbers to know whether we should go back for Roderick or make an assault. So, try and... is there somewhere, like, they could hide to not be seen? Set an ambush, and I try and get them to, like, crouch into some long grass or something.
Around the entrance to the cave, or just where they are by the river?
Just where they are now, yeah. Sure. So, if I were to lead the orcs chasing me back to where they are, they could all, like, spring out and attack the orcs.
Got it. Okay.
All right. And then I want to circle back around on my horse to above the cave on the hill where I can...
You're going to have to dismount. Your horse is not going to make it up this hillside. It's not a nice grassy hill. It's a annoying, rocky, cliffy, gross hill. Okay,
so I dismount my horse somewhere nearby. And then rather than try and get to the top of the hill, because then presumably any orcs that saw me would be between me and the men. So I guess I'll just like crouch down, like lie down and find somewhere I can see the entrance and just watch it, but be like prone on the ground, like maybe in some grass.
Sure. 15 minutes pass. There's no orcs. 20 minutes, 30 minutes pass. No sign of movement from the cave whatsoever.
Okay. Curiosity getting I'll try and move to get a better angle. See if I can see in.
Okay. This is our cave here. You see that?
Yep.
So this is what you have on the cave. You can be up here somewhere, probably a little farther up, where you've got a nice view of the entrance, or as good of a view as you can. You'll still have to wait for someone to like actually walk out in a good 5 or 10 feet before you'll...
where am I, sorry?
Up on top of the hill, right?
Oh.
But like further north.
Well, no, I want it to be, like, so I assume my men are to the south of this map.
Yeah.
So I actually want to be like somewhere like, let me pull my token. Like, I don't know, like this or something here.
Sure. Put you behind a tree, though.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, a half an hour passes, and there's no movement from the cave.
Okay. So, as in, can I see into it or not?
A little ways. But it's pretty dark.
Does it look like there's anyone in there? Is there any movement? Is there any sound?
No, there's no movement or sound.
Okay. So, I guess I'll try and get a little bit closer. So I'll, like, dart to here and then, like, up to here. Try and get a better view into the cave.
You get closer, and closer until you have a somewhat decent view of the inside of the entryway of the cave. It goes like 40 feet or something, and then kind of turns off to the side. And so you've got like a view of the first passageway, but it's a twisty, windy cave, and you can't see too far in. But there hasn't been any movement, and maybe that was the only orc.
I rack my brain. Do orcs sleep during the day? Can I make an intelligence check?
Yeah, give me an intelligence check.
Don't know. Maybe.
Which one of them monsters is nocturnal? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I've got two options, right? I either lead the men and try and sneak into the cave and catch the orcs unaware, to kill them all in their sleep, or I try and like throw a rock into the cave and lead the orcs to follow me into the ambush. Two good options. So if I can see, you say 40 feet in and I don't see anyone. Alright, I'm going to try and get a little bit closer to them. So I'm still going to have a running head start on any orcs that come around the corner. I have a ready action to turn and run if anyone sees me.
Sure. So getting closer is not going to actually give you a better view because the turning of the cave is what has blocked your viewpoint. So you could walk in 20 feet and still wouldn't be able to see any deeper into the cave.
Alright. But if I got to where the corner was, then I could see around the corner, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Or would it be too dark?
It's pretty dim in there. There might be some light that spills in. Actually, at that point, can you make me a perception check when you're that close?
Yeah. Fail.
Never mind
then. So if I were to sprint back to the group, to the men, is it one round's worth of movement or a few?
How far away did you lead them?
You know, not too far. Like, I don't know, a couple of 100 feet? How far is this map?
Like 25. It's
100 feet, so... Yeah, so maybe this again. So 200 feet away, maybe. Is the river south from here?
River is northeast from here.
Northeast from here.
Yeah.
Oh, northeast. Okay, actually, so maybe I've come from this direction then. So maybe the men are like, like maybe 200 feet off in the northeast.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, all right, I see now. So where did I kill the orc? Like over here?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel a little bit better then. So I guess I will try and get right up to the edge of the rock and peer into the cave. Still don't see anything.
It's just sunlight going in. Can you give me another perception check here?
Yeah. 25.
Yeah, you know what? You see, now that you're actually a little bit closer, see there's an orc in that cave. Totally passed out. It's probably supposed to be some sort of door guard or something, but it's sitting on the ground, arm draped over a spear, head tucked against its shoulder.
Okay. So, is he wearing metal armor? If he falls dead, will it make a clattering sound?
No. He's got hides, leathers.
Okay, how close am I to him from here?
20.
Okay, so even if he woke up, I could put my sword through his throat before he had much of a chance to do anything. Yeah. He might scream, but he's gonna be unlikely to stop me killing him, so I try and sneak up to him. But if I've got my sword drawn like this, and I'm sneaking up to him, but if he opens his eyes, I'm just gonna stab him through the throat, and then turn and run back to the men.
Excellent. I'm going to ask you to give me a base silently check, which I think is like half your dex. I'm double checking right now.
Rounding down, I suppose.
Yeah. Fun ways. Let me just double check what that is before I... Chief skills, move silently is, half your dex.
Alright. D20 plus 4. 22!
Oh my god.
We did it.
And this is opposed by his perception check, which is at disadvantage because he's asleep.
Sounds right.
Okay. You sneak all the way up to the sleeping orc. And let's do one of these.
Oh, this is awesome.
Let's not do one of these. Whoops. Let's do... Hey, dynamic lighting. There we go.
I didn't see anything.
Sure. And now we just need to give you a little bit of light by which you can see. Need a torch. Okay. Drop you here. And we're gonna shed some light. See?
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, so the orc I've killed. Do I kill him, or do I have to roll damage?
Yeah, he's asleep. You can just auto kill. Let me put an orc corpse on here.
So as I kill him, I want to put my arm around his back so he doesn't fall, and then I'm gonna sheathe my sword and like hoist him over my shoulder and walk back out of the cave.
Okay, so that orc is right over here.
Yeah. So I'm playing commandos now.
All right, you hoist the body over your shoulder and trudge out of the cave.
And drop him next to the other dead orc, and then head back to the men.
As you're dropping him next to the other dead orc, you see one of the men who has snuck forward. But I guess if you're heading back there, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
so I go up to him, and then I say, go and get the rest of them. The orcs are asleep. We can sneak in. I've killed the guard. And I'll wait for everyone to turn up.
He gathers a few of the other men.
A few?
All of them. All 10 of them.
Yes.
And there you have your 10 soldiers.
Great. So now we are going to sneak into the cave and try and find where the orcs are sleeping. And I want to, I'll take the lead. And then at, every turning point, I'll when I've seen it's clear, I'll summon them forward. So they're all at the entrance here. And I'll go forward to there, check around the corner. So I don't know. My light doesn't seem to be updating. It seems to be on the front of the cave.
Right, because it's just light from the outside. You're gonna need a torch or something to shed light for yourself.
No, that's a good point. I haven't got anything on my character sheet, so.
Right, you've been venturing with Roderick. You've probably got a bunch of his gear stowed on your horse, which will include torches and stuff.
Right.
Speaking of, did you leave anybody behind with your horse, or are you just leaving it tied up to a tree?
Just leaving it tied up to a tree.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's got 1 health. If I have to get a new horse, well, I feel bad now, but I didn't go back right. So maybe he told someone to stay with the horse.
That's fine. Yeah, if you want to retcon issuing someone to stay with the horse, that's fine.
Someone stays with the horse. Okay.
Right. And you're gonna wield a torch.
Yeah. No, actually, the guy behind me, so he should be able to cast just enough light for me to see around the corner.
Sure.
And I will, when I get to the corner and I look around, I'll summon him forward a tad. And then when it's clear, I will then move to here.
He keeps coming up behind you.
Yeah, and then as he gets to me, the rest of the men move up to my last place, here.
Right.
And we're all moving as quietly as we can.
All right. So about here, as you get to this point, there is a guttural growl from just before you, and stepping out from both the left and right side are more orcs.
Okay.
Whether they've been woken up, or they were prepped in ambush, or they're just hanging out and you happen to run into them is unclear. But these guys step to the sides.
Can I reposition?
You can roll initiative and do what you want on your turn.
Okay. if I roll initiative to move, can I ready an attack if I'm approached or not?
No.
Would I have to roll?
No, you
5
have to roll initiative for that.
for sword. Okay. 14.
14, very nice. But not quite nice enough. The first orc steps forward with his axe and yells at you. Something. God knows what he's saying. But the axe comes down, clatters against your shield, heads to the side, hits the stone, sends sparks flying, while the second orc moves up and tries to take your head with him. He rolls an 18 to hit.
Oh, it's gonna hit, I think. Well, I don't know. Would I have... Where does my other AC come from in the game?
You get 5 from chainmail, 2 from shield. Where you've got 17 AC, right?
Okay, yeah. So do I get my
18 AC in the game, don't you?
Let me open my other character sheet.
You get 18 AC.
Does shield only give me 2? I've got my shield as 3.
Shield ought to be 2. Oh no! Wait, there is a shield proficiency which boosts it from 2 to 3. Yeah.
So do I have that proficiency yet?
Yeah.
Great. So I guess I've got 18 AC.
All right. So the orc below clatters into you. Oh god, grazing you for 2 points of damage.
Okay. So what I want to do is I'll strike back at the orc that hit me, and then I want to back off and form like a stronger line where we can fit maybe 3 people to their 1.
Sure. Go ahead and make me your attack, please.
Yeah. Wait, if I do this though, they'll get an attack of opportunity, won't they? So I will do a fighting withdrawal to form my line. Yeah. And I call the men forward, like, so there's 3 of them.
Okay, they form this.
Yeah.
With, extra people behind. In fact, the torch guy should be this. There we go. Okay, let's go to initiative for next round. I'm going to put all of the NPCs on... this is probably the best way to do it. Let's just do 3 groups. 1 for you, 1 for your henchmen, 1 for the orcs. I know that becomes a little bit weird, but it's too many die rolls to keep track of otherwise.
Yep. All right, so mine's 14 again. What's the initiative for a spear?
6. I was just going to roll for him.
Okay.
Well, that means the orcs do go first. And the first one is going to come charging down here. Second one's going to do that. And there are other orcs behind them. Okay, this first guy is going to make an attack at the person in the corner who is sort of backed into things. The orc rolls a natural 20.
Oh god.
I don't know what AC this guy has, but it's at least a crit, which is 10 points of damage, which is more than this guy could possibly have. He falls to the ground in a bloody heap. The second orc takes a swing at the spearman beside you, William, for an 8 to hit, which is a miss.
They rolled 11 for initiative as well, though, so does he not get to strike before he dies, this guy?
He does. They go at the same time. Why don't you roll their 2 attacks?
Okay.
Starting with Corner Man.
Are they just flat d20s?
Yep. Nope.
Yes.
Hey, there you go. That is a single crit. 244 then. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, spears are 2d4 these days.
11.
11 will rip the orc to shreds.
Okay, so I shall fill the line.
Okay. Let's see. That should be fine, right? Yeah, that should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1 is with the horse.
Great.
Lovely. And it's your turn, William.
Yes. 8.
No dice. Next round initiative.
Six.
Nice. You go first.
6.
No good.
Get a second attack this round, though.
Yep, your first spearman is going to step here, the second one to there.
Yeah.
And they will both take strikes at the orc. Why don't you roll them? No good. The orcs get a turn. They're going to back up. And this one will withdraw back as well.
With his action?
Yep, that's his turn. Initiative.
Okay. My men all have spears, don't they?
They do.
Okay. Can I hand some javelins out to them and make an attack on one turn?
How many javelins do you carry?
I've got 5.
Do you
So
carry them all on your person at the same time?
Yeah.
How
I think
the fuck
so.
do you carry 5 javelins?
In like a javelin quiver.
Is there
Right.
such a thing as a javelin quiver?
I don't know, how did the Romans carry javelins?
I mean, each person had like 1 or 2. And they had like huge pack animals and supply carts with them.
But were they 1858 strength?
It's not a strength issue. It's a mechanical issue.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am like 6'5". Maybe that helps a little bit. I don't know, I've always had 5 javelins on me, so...
Yeah, I know. It's one of those areas that I've always... Like, D&D characters can just, like, as long as you can carry the weight, you can magically store it in your backpack sort of thing.
Yeah.
And one day down the road, I want to break that habit. But not today, I suppose. So you can pass out javelins as your action for that round.
Okay. So I guess I will just... I mean, I'll just make an attack instead.
All right.
10.
So you move forward into the orcs then?
No,
Or you
I'll just throw my javelin. Yeah.
Okay. It clatters against one person fairly harmlessly.
Well, I haven't rolled to attack. That was initiative.
Oh, okay. Cool, perfect. But it was your turn,
Okay.
because the orcs had retreated on that. So make your attack roll.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
The-
15.
that is just enough to hit an orc.
Great. 7.
Not enough to kill an orc, though.
Okay.
Nice high HP guy right here. Let's roll initiative.
So this turn, I'm going to hand out javelins. Is that initiative 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. The first orc is going to literally charge down this hallway at one of the spearmen with a 15, 16, 17, 18 to hit. 2 for the charge is a nice blow against this rather shoddily armored peasant, doing maximum damage, just murdering the peasant outright, who drops to the ground dead. Is our torchbearer? No, that is the torchbearer who has died.
Okay. Torch is now burning his body on the floor.
Yep. And the next orc is going to step forward and hurl a oh god, he should have done this before the other one moved. But now he's going to hurl a javelin with called shot, penalties to hit, kill, martial. Not going to happen. The other ones can't get in there. They're done. The spearmen, I'm going to ask you to make me a morale check for them. It's going to be a 2d10, and let me look up what their morale would be. But 2 of them have already died out of 10. That's 20% losses, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I was thinking of retreating after this turn anyway.
Human. Here we go. Looks like it's probably 9 is their morale. So roll me a 2d10, and you want to roll a 9 or lower.
8.
Oof. All right. They hold.
Okay. Can we attack this orc?
Yeah.
2 attacks?
2 attacks.
I assume someone fills the line. Does one of them get a flank attack? Or
He's probably more like that.
Okay.
Kind of like, no dice, no dice. And Marshall's turn at the end.
No.
Oh, God, unfortunate. All right, initiative.
Okay. So, I want to fighting withdrawal to the mouth of the cave.
Okay.
8.
All right, you go first.
Okay, so I will delay my action until after the men move, and I want to like guard them as we all retreat to the mouth of the cave.
All right, you get everyone to back up.
Can we grab the bodies of the fallen, or is that too?
You could probably get this one.
Is either of them maybe not in -10 yet? Like,
That's quite possible. Yeah, they could be. They could still be alive.
Potentially any that are not like beheaded.
Right.
I'll sort of commit 1 or 2 guys to help me with get their bodies out. So maybe I'll like fight back against the orcs, take an attack of opportunity maybe, whilst the others grab the bodies and escape.
Sure. Give me another morale check. See if in the middle of this fighting withdrawal, if they're actually going to follow you with that, because they're not exactly soldiers.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Someone will grab one of the bodies and begin to drag it out, and you fighting withdraw as well. And by the end of the round, you guys are all outside of the cave.
One guy was clearly dead? Did you?
Yes, one guy was very clearly dead.
Okay. So I think we will go like clutter around this side of the cave here and wait to see if the orcs follow us out. And if they don't come within like a round, we'll make our way back to the river.
Let's get some dudes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 1 dead guy over here. Spear guys.
Yeah, we want to like sort of wait in ambush right around the corner if the orcs are to charge out.
That's probably more like that. Yeah. There we go. And this guy's probably there. Perfect. So that round, you guys drag these bodies out. The next round, one of these guys is going to try and bandage the other person's wounds. He fails his check. I'm just going to have him do the same action every round until he succeeds. No, other people are going to have to do it. But the next one's a pass, so it's fine.
Right.
You're waiting. Are the orcs going to come out? Are they going to stay in? But minutes pass.
Okay, I think that's our cue. We make way back to the river.
Okay.
And
fall back.
It's probably been about 2 hours, so we go back to where we left Roderick.
Okay. Roderick's not there yet, but eventually he shows up. He brings with him 9 people and 1 body. And you can see some of the other soldiers there are a little scraped up. They've definitely seen some sort of combat. And he sees you with your 8 men and 1 body. And
so I will, I'm not mounted. I go over to speak to him. I found the cave where the orcs came from. I've killed a few. I lost a couple of men. Managed to recover 1. He's wounded, but he'll survive. How about you? Are you successful?
he nods slowly. Found a ambush of theirs. Came through it all right.
Are they dead?
He nods. And you can see that there's blood leaking from underneath his breastplate and kind of like running down the outside of his leg, and there's a bit of an arrow shaft sticking out from his right side.
Shall we finish off the ones to the north? I thought I'd wait for your help before wandering deep into that cave.
How many are left?
I'm not sure. I didn't get a good count. At least 4 or 5.
He thinks long and hard for a moment and then shakes his head and says, no, I think... How many did you kill?
3?
Well, I got 8, so together that should be enough to put a dent in any sort of operations they can perform. Let's get out of here before anyone else dies.
All right. Good job, man. Let's head back.
Right. You guys make your way back to your home, down in the south.
Yep. So I guess I will... Does Roderick come to the village with us?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He comes back to the village with you and all of your soldiers.
Great. I feel pretty happy about this because Roderick kind of gives me some credence, right?
Yeah. Your brother and your father might be sort of dismissive or disrespectful towards you, but Roderick beside you, you'll probably be fine.
Great. So I march in victorious into town.
All right. All of these soldiers in big air quotes, immediately head for the tavern and start swapping stories and telling tales. And the one guy that died was, well, like, nobody here really knew him all that well. He volunteered, and no one's too... I mean, they're torn up about him, but, he wasn't a personal friend of anyone's. It's okay.
Did Roderick's casualty die, or is he just wounded?
Oh, super deadsies, yeah.
Okay, so we both lost one man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh.
He recovered the body, though, which is nice.
The body that Roderick's team lost was one of the people from this town. It was the gentleman named... I forgot their names already. Steven. Steven's dead.
Is he one of the original 2?
Yeah. One of the 2 from this village.
Okay, well...
And as Steven, as you guys are having a nice breakdown or not breakdown, a post-game chatter and fun, Steven's wife comes looking for him at the tavern. And as she comes up and starts asking around, Roderick takes her outside, away from everybody else. Tavern grows a little still as everyone understands what's happening. There's a moment, and then you can hear the wailing of a grieving widow.
Could I maybe listen into this conversation? I feel like this is like an important thing to be able to do, and I've got no idea how to approach it. So if I could maybe get close to a window and just listen to how he phrases it. Sure.
So Roderick has this woman outside, and she says, Where's Steven? What's going on? Roderick says, ma'am, let me tell you what happened today. We were hunting down these orcs that had marched on one of the villages nearby and threatened everything around here. Your husband was one of the few brave men to volunteer and go forward and defeat this threat and keep the people here safe. We walked into an orcish ambush. They fired shots on us. All hell broke loose. Your husband was one of the bravest men I've ever seen. I've been campaigning for very long time now, and the moment those orcs attacked, well, he rushed up the hill and immediately plunged his spear through their spellcaster, slaying him on the spot. The rest of the orcs targeted him out and brought him down, but it's because he took out that spellcaster that we were able to drive the rest of them back, rout them, and get them fleeing. Your husband died today, but because of his actions, we were able to kill 10 orcs, and everyone else lived. Your husband's one of the bravest men I've ever known.
Okay.
And that's when she starts breaking down in tears and crying, as would be appropriate for the situation.
Yeah.
You want to throw me an intel check?
Yeah, so I was going to ask him if that's, like, true or not. But I'll roll the intelligence check to see what I can find out. 28.
Yeah, you definitely remember him saying that he killed 8 men, 8 orcs.
Right.
And he just told this woman that they all together killed 10 because of her husband's actions. So something is maybe amiss.
So I think William learns a lesson here, right? About how it's okay to lie sometimes.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes lying can be the right thing to do if it's for a greater cause. So I guess, the plan would be to sort of unwind with the men and drink in the tavern. And does Roderick drink?
Sparingly. They'll sip on a beer over the course of an evening.
Okay. So I try and match pace with him.
Yeah, he takes it real gentle. Everyone else is having a blast and getting trashed. Roderick is just politely sipping on the same room temperature ale all day long.
So at some point I'll go and speak to him and say, the story you told Stephen's wife, is that really what happened?
Absolutely not.
It's okay to lie to her?
Well, she's only going to know one story, and her husband could either have died a hero or caught completely unaware and slowly bled to death over several minutes, suffering brutally. The truth in this situation doesn't particularly matter. He died saving the town. Better to give her something to hold on to, a little bit of hope and honor for herself.
Yeah. What if the other men explain what happened? Perhaps I'll speak to them.
He shakes his head. Don't overcomplicate it. If she eventually hears a separate story, she will believe the one that she wants to believe.
I suppose she will. Shall we sleep in the tavern tonight or head back to my father's manor?
I was fully expecting your father to put us up, but if your father has problems with me and will no longer house me, then...
No, I'm sure he will have no problem.
Alright. You guys can go back to your home and hang out and rest.
Yes, I think we do that, and I, march triumphantly into the house with Roderick covered in orc blood.
Mm-hmm.
And, make a show of ignoring my brother.
Right. Your father comes over, asks to hear the story. Roderick speaks up and tells the tale of how you rallied these 20 men and met him and divided the troops, and you each went off, and this time he's very accurate with the numbers. He took down 8, you and your men took down 3. Here's the casualty reports. Here's where we saw the orcs. Here's, the information I've gleaned. There's 2 camps, maybe 20 each. We took out about half of them. They probably won't be a problem, but I'm going to go talk to the High Prince and see if I can't, levy some actual soldiers and put a real stop to this, but they should at least be gone for a while. Take them some time to recover from an attack like that, yada yada. He seems very casual and relaxed about the whole thing, but in a very different way than the captain of the guard was, or the sheriff was here.
Yeah, more professional. So I think at this point, William's not quite got over the fact that he feels like he's got something to prove, and he's finding it hard not to come across as a little bit smug as to this sort of story that paints me in quite a good light, especially considering the events directly before. So I think it does come across quite smug the way he's just got sitting there listening to the story.
As the story wraps up, your older brother speaks out saying, "So Roderick, you were responsible for slaying 8 orcs and only lost 1 man, while William lost 2 and only killed 3? And then just lets it hang in the air without any follow-up whatsoever.
I guess I try and ignore him. He's being a dick.
He's being a dick. All the adults know it. They completely ignore him.
Yeah.
But he does it anyway.
That's fine. It just shows that he's feels inferior.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, so I guess we're heading back to Solwick in the morning, are we?
Yeah. You will head back to Solwick in the morning with Roderick and accompany him as he raises the appropriate levies from the areas around, going to each individual lord, and he brings you with him during these moments where he goes into a town or a village and explains that he needs X number of soldiers and any available knights, and go through his diplomatic processes, which are problematic and slow, and no one wants to commit soldiers and money to these funds, and it's always somebody else's problem, and these orcs aren't on my land, and but
they have a duty, right?
They have a duty, and he can force them to levy forces if he wants, but you force them to raise arms against their will, and then you get bad blood, and it's messy and problematic down the road, so he's trying to get them to volunteer.
Yeah. So rather than be like the High Prince commands that you levy some men, he's more trying to explain to them the situation, get them to offer up the...
He's trying to get people to volunteer their levies rather than force it, so that everyone will be a little bit happier.
This is all good training.
Actually, I didn't think this was going to be our end here, but I feel like this is probably a good wrapping up point for us.
Yeah, it feels pretty good to me.
Yeah. I think the first flashback was William sort of becoming a squire, and I think this one's all about William, like, learning what it is to be a knight, learning how to, like, issue orders to soldiers, learn how to tell people that their husbands or daughters or wives or sons or whatever died, and how to negotiate without just being like, I have this power, I'm going to use it.
Yeah. Good.
All right. Well, then let's wrap that up here. Nice short little episode, but these flashbacks they go so much faster. When you have 1/3 as many people or 1/4 as many people on screen, it's just
We did 2 hours last time, so this is 3.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, then. We will see y'all next week for some more Fro. I believe we can all make next week's game. Fingers crossed.
I know I can.
All right. And our Christmas, our holiday schedule will probably be a little wonky. We might jostle things around, maybe not. We might miss a couple of sessions. When's Christmas?
So the only one I should miss will be...
The 24th, I don't think we'll play.
Yeah, right. That's the only one I should be good apart from that. Oh, wait, New Year's Eve. So I probably won't
we're definitely not playing on New Year's Eve either. So only the 3rd and the 10th and the 17th.
But, we could do... Is everyone off on New Year's Day in America?
Maybe?
Because Monday, the 1st, is kind of like a Sunday in a way.
Right.
It's the last day of a long weekend. So we could play on Monday instead on the 1st.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll run it by the group. I don't know what everyone's New Year's plans are, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people were trying to leave Monday as a day of rest.
Because it's in the morning for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be like a 10 a.m. game on New Year's morning for us. So
yeah, right.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Take care.
All right, see ya.